Good morning. This is Mike Switzer with the South Carolina Business Review. Our next guest's company has been named one of the best places to work in South Carolina for 5 consecutive years. In fact, every year since the annual competition began. Bill Wilder is director of the Life Cycle Institute, which is the learning, leadership, and change practice at the engineering consulting firm Life Cycle Engineering. And Bill joins us now by phone from his office in Charleston, South Carolina. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Well, tell us a little bit about Life Cycle Engineering and this institute that you run.
Mike, Life Cycle Engineering is a 30-year headquartered company in Charleston, South Carolina, an engineering consulting firm that does work all over the world in helping organizations redesign their processes and improve their asset and process reliability. So we go in and help organizations look at the way they're managing their assets and then redesign those processes. The Life Cycle Institute, which is a group within Life Cycle Engineering, was formed as a part of that consulting practice to help organizations actually change behavior associated with these redesigned processes. Because at the end of the day, you can have the best processes and the best tools, but if the people aren't with you, you're not going to achieve the results you were seeking.
I understand that this process is called change management.
It is, Mike. Change management is a growing, discipline. There have been a number of research projects done over the last 20 years. In fact, a recent one in 2008 that McKinsey & Company led showed that nearly 70% of all change initiatives fail to meet business objectives. Additional research by an organization called ProSci, short for Professional Science, in their studies determined that the 30% that were successful were the ones that had a structured change management approach with dedicated resources and active and visible sponsorship.
Can you give us a real-world example of putting this process into place?
Sure. We recently worked with a client in Florida, the U.S. Sugar Corporation, and redesigned their processes. And so when we did, we had a change management team that was a part of the project team. And this team worked alongside the folks that were managing the project with Microsoft Project and the other tools that you use to manage a project to actually put together the communications plans, the risk plans, help the people themselves apply the change in their workplace. The 3 critical, objectives: raising the overall utilization, the overall speed of adoption, and the proficiency of the people in the new processes and tools. Change management, to be successful, needs to take place early in the project and be a regular part of the project team. It would flow along with the project, and most of the work associated with it will be at the front end. One of the things we know about change management is that while an organization can change, it's really the sum of the individuals changing. So every change is really an individual change. One of the reasons that we are now an authorized training provider for the ProSci methodology, and the only one in the U.S. today, is because of this research-based, well-designed, practical methodology that we can prove and document the results in terms of utilization, adoption, and proficiency in the new tools and processes.
Is there a lot of change going on right now in American factories?
Constant. And it's widely recognized today that this is a crucial competency for organizations to remain competitive and for leaders to maintain the competitiveness of their organization. The Center for Creative Leadership, for example, up in Greensboro, did a study on the required competencies for leadership today versus, say, 20 years ago or 50 years ago. And change management is now moved into the top 5%. This study also examined the gaps in terms of capabilities, and this particular area is one of the weakest. So one of the biggest gaps is this change management competency, if you will. And so now there are organizations beginning to form. Just this year, the Association of Change Management Professionals was formed and is a nonprofit holding their first annual conference down in Florida in May, and is in the process of developing a set of certifications and competencies, much like you would seek, say, for Six Sigma or project management, but in the discipline of change management.
Well, Bill, congratulations so far on the success of the Institute there. Good luck with everything going forward.
Thank you, Mike.
Bill Wilder is the director of the Life Cycle Institute, which is the change management arm of Life Cycle Engineering, and he joined us from his office in Charleston, South Carolina. Please visit etvradio.org/scbr to find more information about this show and today's interview, including a link to our guest's website. That address again, etvradio.org/scbr. And with the South Carolina Business Review, this is Mike Switzer.